Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest in exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
You know, just a few years ago, there was a study, and it said that humans can distinguish between over 1 trillion different odors. And of course, when it comes to cars, that can be good. As motorheads, we love the scent of racing fuel, we love burning rubber, and who doesn't love that new car smell? But bad odors can ruin a good time in any vehicle. Just think about it: mold and mildew in an RV or a boat, pet odors, old food, especially if you have little kids like I do, or the worst, cigarette or cigar smoke. Air fresheners and sprays just mask the odor, and you end up with the smell of strawberries and smoke, or lemon and mildew. It's super gross. Those sprays and air fresheners never actually take care of the problem. But Dead Scent is different. Dead Scent actually eliminates odors at the source. Now, I won't get into the weeds with the science, but when you activate Dead Scent, it produces environmentally safe chlorine dioxide. Those chlorine dioxide molecules actually break up the odor molecules and eliminate the bad scent on the spot. Now, I know what you're asking. Dead Scent is safe for people. It's safe for pets. It is safe for the environment. The package is even recyclable. And yes, Dead Scent is simple to use in your car, RV, your boat, or your home. Scott Vestal, our head of operations here, bought a classic Corvette just a few months ago. It was in good shape, but the previous owners were smokers. Scott remembered that we had a Dead Scent treatment pack on one of our studio shelves. He ran one single treatment of Dead Scent and the smell was totally gone. He tells me that after the treatment, he aired out the car and there was no trace of smoke to be found. And I've been in the car, and believe me, if it smelled like smoke, I wouldn't have gotten in the first place. But don't believe us. Here's a review from the trash crew at the Buffalo Chip Campground, one of the main centers of the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. Wally wrote to say that he used Dead Scent in the crew's trailer. Now we're talking hardworking folks who've been sweating all day and slinging garbage. Just imagine the smell in there. Well, Dead Scent completely eliminated those odors for good. You can find sterling reviews for Dead Scent all over the interwebs, and these are real endorsements from real users. Joy used Dead Scent after her husband forgot some hamburgers in the freezer for a couple of weeks. When they went to take their camper out for another trip, they discovered thousands of flies and the horrible smell of rotting meat. Joy says she was afraid she'd never be able to use her camper again, but Dead Scent came to the rescue. It completely removed the rotten meat smell, and Joy and her husband are happy campers once again. Logan W. had a leaky sunroof, and we know how that kind of mildew can smell really badly for a long time. Well, not after using Dead Scent. And finally, Flo K. has a yacht that stayed sealed up for 2 years, and just imagine what that smelled like. Flo followed the instructions, and she used Dead Scent, and the smell is history. You can find tons of testimonials just like those at deadscent.com. Everything you need to treat even the most offensive odors comes in one package, and there are different sizes depending on what type or size vehicle you're treating. Dead Scent couldn't be easier to use. Check this out. If you can, first of all, you park your vehicle in the shade or you wait till there's no direct sunlight on it. Probably a good idea to lay down a towel before you start the treatment. Then you just open the clamshell and take everything out of the package, pour in some water, fill it right up to the fill line, and you are almost done. Now, take the treatment packet and place it blue side down in the water. That's really important. You'll see it start to react immediately. You just exit and close the space, whether it's a room, a car, an RV, or a boat, and you just wait overnight or for about 6 hours, and you'll be all set. When you come back, just open the windows and air out the space, and you are done. You'll smell the Dead Scent, which has a clean, maybe slightly salty smell to it, but not for long. Once you air out the vehicle or the room, you will not smell a thing. Pet odors, body odors, vomit, pet accidents, smoke, all gone. And that's because Dead Scent doesn't mask anything. It eliminates the odors right at the source. I mentioned that I have kids who drop food in the car, which can get stinky. And at last count, we also have about 1 trillion cats. They love it in the den, and sometimes they even find the litter box. But for the times when they don't, Dead Scent has Ultimate Enzyme Spray. You can buy it in 2 different sizes. I'm going to see if I can buy a tanker truck of it. Actually, a little goes a long way. Dead Scent's Ultimate Enzyme Spray uses special microbes to target urine and other organic odors, and the enzymes in the spray eliminate odors right at the source. You will not be able to smell them anymore. It's so good that your pets will even be unlikely to return to the spot again to do their thing or to mark their territory in the first place. Yes, the ultimate enzyme spray is safe to use around your pets. It's safe for the environment. You can use it on pavement, gravel, walls, fake grass, and of course carpets and furniture. But it's not just for pet odors. Parents and daycare workers, you know what kind of smells I'm talking about. And the ultimate enzyme spray is great for trash cans, dumpsters, and even that fridge or garbage disposal. You can read a pile of reviews online. Dead Scent really works, and with very little effort. Just think about how miserable a bad-smelling car or RV can make you feel. Take back your vehicle, get Dead Scent, and eliminate the odor at the source. Find it at deadscent.com. And we'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by SteelRubberProducts.com. Keep it right here. Motorhead Garage presented by Steel Rubber Products, brought to you by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics. PaintedAutoBodyParts.com, the leading U.S. auto body parts online store. And by Custom Auto Sound, audio for the great classics, customs, and street rods.
This, folks, well, this is a compression gauge. It works great. It checks the mechanical integrity of your engine, but it takes a lot of work. You got to remove the spark plugs, you got to disable ignition. There's a lot of things that go on with that. What if I told you there's a better way? Well, there is. You can use an oscilloscope today to do a relative compression test. Welcome to this AMSOIL Tech Tip. That's what we're talking about, compression inside of that engine. What's going on inside of that engine? Well, you can see our 4-stroke cycle right here. And between the compression and the power stroke, we're actually taking that mixture and we're squeezing it. Now keep this in mind. It takes a lot of work to do that, all right? So mention that. And then right here is the compression stroke. You can actually see it inside. That piston's on its way up. Imagine that air-fuel mixture's in there right now. It hasn't exploded yet, but we gotta compress it. Sometimes 300, 400, maybe diesels up to 800 pounds of compression going on inside of that cylinder. So what can you do? You can use that to your advantage, and you can use what's called a relative compression test. Super easy to do. Just get your oscilloscope. If you have an oscilloscope, now professional techs, they all use oscilloscopes. It's a little more costly, a little more sophisticated. Hook it up to the actual wire. You're going down, that's going to the starter. Why? Because the starter's gonna have mechanical draw when the engine turns over. Disable the ignition, and then you can go inside the car and you can turn it over. Now, while the car is cranking, what that oscilloscope's doing, it's actually reading the amp draw down to the starter. Every time that compression stroke comes up, bam, you got a massive amps, and then it goes down. Massive amps. You can see it right there. Well, what's good and bad? You see this one here? The top of the peaks are the compression stroke. It took a lot of amps to get up there, and then it went around. Well, you can see number 5 there. There was no compression. I couldn't squeeze the fuel. I didn't show any voltage spike on the amps. Resistance, amperage, resistance, and engines. These oils are totally different. This one's a 60 weight oil. If I shake it, it's thick, and boy, it really feels thick. This one here, 0W16, almost feels like water. What's the difference, Len?
You know, when you're doing that at room temperature, imagine that inside of an engine where it gets hotter, or what you can really tell is when you get these oils colder. So if you get into a cold environment, then that's really gonna get thick, and this one will really maintain the viscosity that you're kind of seeing here right now. That's done with technology, temperature-sensitive technology that we engineer into the product that allows, you know, the oil to be thin at cold temperatures, but then thick to provide protection at higher temperatures.
So what you're saying, if I don't use the right oil, that's actually mechanical resistance in the engine. It's hard to actually turn the oil.
Absolutely. The 60 weight, as we look at that demonstration that you just gave, that was going to give you higher peaks. So it's going to take more out of the starter to turn over a 60 weight than it is for a 16.
Well, make sure you use the proper oil, the one your vehicle was designed to use. And to do that, it's super easy. All you have to do is go to amsoil.com.
My name's Tom Cloud. This is my 67 Avanti 2. Well, it's a 1967 Avanti 2, and I've had this car about 7 years. It's one of 66 that were built that year, and I stumbled across this car, believe it or not, on Craigslist. So I put a deposit on it without even looking at it. You know, I've always liked the cars since I was a kid. There used to be one when I was growing up that had the back deck lid punched in on it. I always drove past it and I always loved the car. I tried to buy that one several times. So I've always had a thing for them. The fact that they're just so unique.
What did it feel like when you finally got to own one?
No, I have a picture of me when we had it on the trail. I was hugging the thing. You know, so it was kind of a lifelong goal to finally get one. We had to go through the brakes. It had some electrical problems. The windows didn't work. And then also I had to go through the cooling systems and the oil and tune it up. We get double head turns usually. Most people don't know what it is. Some people do. And I had a fellow walk up here this afternoon and just say, "This was my lifelong dream just to see one of these things." He said, "I've never seen one before."
Where'd you get the rubber seals when you were restoring the car?
We found them at Steel Rubbers. Sometimes it's a little harder to close the doors until they break in, but generally it's a lot quieter and not leaking like they would, you know, with the originals. So they're a car that's like real polarizing. You either love them or you hate them. So I always loved them.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Steel Rubber Products.
They may be small, but the damage they can cause is huge. And mice and rodents love to chew on wires, and that could be in your RV, that could be in your boat, that could be in your truck, maybe your classic car. Mice can destroy both the wiring and the insulation, and that can leave you stranded. But you can stop them before they start with Mouse Blocker. Mouse Blocker is the original 12-volt electronic rodent deterrent. Mouse Blocker protects your vehicle from costly rodent damage, and it uses sound technology that mice hate, but you will never hear. You can protect your ride, you can protect your wallet from costly repairs. You can learn about the technology at mouseblocker.com. You know, when it comes to roof racks, you're going to get one that looks great but doesn't do a whole lot, or one that doesn't look very good but's very utilitarian. Well, I'll tell you what, our friends at Goby Racks have this problem solved. Form meets function when it comes to Goby Racks. Jade, tell me what makes Goby's racks different and better.
Absolutely. So first off, we've been around for over 2 decades, so we know the game. Our biggest thing is we are non-modular, fully welded roof rack. So when you come to those washable roads, you won't have any shifting of screws, no movement of the rack. You'll be totally okay. Long time comes for this rack.
And how does it actually mount to the vehicle?
It is all non-drill, so it's going to be into the OEM holes of what comes on your vehicle, no matter what vehicle it is, Bronco, 4Runner, Jeep, anything.
I'm pretty sure that's the first question you get all the time. And probably the second one is, how much weight does it hold?
So you can actually point load it at 250 pounds. You can stand directly on it at that weight. And then it's got an 800-pound static load and a 300-pound dynamic load. So we've got you covered in weight no matter what you put on the vehicle.
And how do you make sure that all that weight, all that gear stays where it needs to be?
Well, we have a raised edge, and we have it a low profile for this is the Stealth rack, and then we also have a Ranger rack, which is a couple inches taller, more of a basket style. So no matter how fast you're driving, or if you slam on those brakes, your gear is not going to move.
And why would one choose the Ranger rack over the Stealth?
It's purely preference or aesthetics, just to what one might want on it, whether you're doing a rooftop tent or you're just putting cargo boxes on there or anything along those lines.
Goby Racks thought of everything, and I know a lot of folks are serious off-roaders, which means you're going to have a light bar or a rack to hold the lights. So what are the different options when it comes to mounting those on the vehicle?
So these two are our multi-light setup, so you can put a light bar or you can do individual lights, and we make light brackets for those as well. Or we have a 40-inch LED setup where you can put a straight light bar, which insets it. And that also allows you to have an option of a no riser, which decreases the rack size in the front, and you can lay something completely flat across it. So if you had a longer rooftop tent or you wanted to put canoes or kayaks completely flat on the rack, you're able to do so.
Tons of features from Goby Racks. In fact, a lot of them are patented. So what are some of the things we can find here we can't find anywhere else, David?
Yeah, we have multiple patents, one being the riser versus no riser. And so with the no riser, it's really good for the adventurer that doesn't want any obstructions. They're able to put plenty onto the roof rack, and then in case they have a sunroof, we have a welded mesh that goes across, can stop at that sunroof, or they can have those inserts like you see here. And each of those inserts, they can hold up to 165 pounds for their cargo capacity. And we also have the patented non-drill system because, no one wants to be drilling into their vehicle, right?
No doubt about that.
So very smooth, very sharp looking. It's simple but elegant at the same time.
And there's tons of accessories too. It doesn't just stop with the racks for Gobi.
Absolutely.
So, what are some of the things I can get to put on my rack?
Yeah, well, we have the Gobi standard crossbars, and that comes with every rack. And you can put, a bike or, kayak, snowboard, stuff like that. But we also have the upgrade option to where those can actually hold more weight, and they come in two different lengths, one 60 inches and another being 80 inches. So you can put multiple bikes up there, put 3 or 4 kayaks, canoe. So you're definitely able to get a lot more out of your travels with that upgraded option.
Another accessory I really dig is the panel on the other side here of the Toyota. What do I call that?
That's called the mole panel, and that's great for a bunch of different accessories like a gas can, traction board, like a shovel, just extra things that you're going to be bringing on your trip.
And I really like the awning too. That's a great thing for hanging out too when
Yes.
you're not actually out on the trail. It's a neat thing to attach there too. And a lot of folks are running accessories from Thule and Yakima and other companies like that. How compatible is a Gobi rack with those?
Completely compatible. So you're able to put any accessories you want on it, like axes. You can have that awning like you mentioned, and also just road showers too. So plenty of things that you can bring for any type of adventure you're going on.
Well, Gobi Rack says no place is out of reach, and it is true. You can find the Gobi Rack for your vehicle at gobiracks.com. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by Steel Rubber Products, so don't go anywhere. Motorhead Garage presented by Steel Rubber Products, brought to you by Mantic Clutch. Make it a Mantic. Suds Lab, car care for all science-based detailing. And by Adrian, cargo management solutions, hauling America's hustle. Two people share the spotlight as our PaintedAutoParts.com Motorheads of the Week. Rachel and Steve Stepbro emailed me to tell me their story. Rachel tells me that her father was a mechanic and she learned how to work on cars when she was just 10 years old. And Steve sold the car he'd had since high school to live his childhood dream of owning a Corvette. He now has a 2005 50th anniversary C5, and Rachel, well, she rescued a 1979 C3. Rachel says they work on the cars together, and they love going to car shows, parades, and hanging out with other people. They also watch a lot of car shows together on Motor Trend, including Motorhead Garage on Sunday mornings. Thank you, guys. Rachel also sent along some advice for young couples. She says, find something you can share together because those kids are going to grow up and be out of the house. If all you have in common is your kids, that's not enough to stay together. That is great advice from a couple of true motorheads. Rachel and Steve, you have inspired this husband and father. Thank you for writing in, and thank you for being our PaintedAutoParts.com Motorheads of the Week. Now, overlanding has become so popular these days, but you can't just buy a rig like this, Mike, and buy it Friday and go out Saturday overlanding. There's so many things to take into consideration. What do you have to think of when you want to do this?
Storage, weight, where you're going to pack everything, and what's most important to you. Your tent, rooftop tent, food, water, stuff like that. Just make sure that you know where you're going to put everything.
And water being a big part of that. And one of the things you can do now is take jerry cans with you. It's full of water and or jugs, and that's about it. And there's no way to get water when you're out on your campsite. So at Mega Mike's, you've come up with a solution for the storage problem and for bringing water with you. How does the Hydro 3 system for Mega Mike's work?
So this unit does everything. It bolts up to the frame of the Gladiator.
It takes the place of your spare tire underneath?
It does. It takes up that space.
And then to bolt it in, you're just using factory mount?
Yes, we're using existing holes in the frame. We provide nut plates and all the hardware for it to bolt up to the frame.
Very good. How does the Hydro 3 system work?
Okay, so with this system, we provide a pump, we have a 0.5 micron filter, a UV light, and a heat exchanger.
Okay, and the heat exchanger, because this actually supplies hot water.
Yes, it does. So the reason why I did the heat exchanger is because your vehicle offers you a lot. It offers you a way to heat the water. You have air conditioning, you have a heater inside the cab. So with this unit, this heat exchanger right here, you can tie it in line with your heater core. It just in line goes straight right through it. And then your cold water side from the tank goes to the other side of the heater core, and that's what heats your water.
And this is, what, 19 gallons here?
This is 19 gallons.
And are you limited to the 19 gallons you bring out with you when you hit the road?
You are not. So with this system, we provide a suction line. So you can switch the valve over to the suction line, and you can pull out any body of water for as long as you want.
And you can still drink it when you pull it out of a river or a lake.
Yes, it is still filtered. Still filtered through the 0.5 micron filter and the UV light.
Okay, and then that filter there, that's sort of a standard filter, right?
Yes, it is. This is a charcoal filter, 0.5 micron. You could buy these anywhere.
That filter is the first line of defense, and then in order to make the water drinkable, what do you need after that?
We have a UV light. So the filter cleans the water so the UV light can penetrate it and kills all the germs, all the bacteria in the water.
And what happens when my 19 gallons is empty?
You just refill it with our suction line. Throw it into your lake, river, or stream. You could refill your system through the port right here and turn the valve back over, you're pulling back out of the tank.
What if I'm parked at a campsite and I don't want to drain the water out of this? Can I bypass all of that?
Yes, you can use the suction line and bypass the water that's in the tank.
So at a campground or something
Yep.
like that where you already have clean water, it's perfect.
Yep.
Of course, we can see the control unit behind us with the spigots on there for a shower, whatever you need to use it for. Is that the only way to access the water from the Hydro 3?
No, you can tie into the system if you have a kitchen slide, and you have a sink on there. You can tie into this Hydro 3 system and supply water to your kitchen.
The off-road world is a rough place, and this is going to be under your vehicle. How is it protected?
It's protected by this skid plate right here. So when this bolts to your frame and everything, the skid plate bolts right to the unit. And so it protects everything from rocks, debris, stuff like that.
And if something should go wrong in the rare case, what kind of warranty do you carry at Mega Mike's?
We do have a 1-year warranty on everything. Give us a call.
When you are out on the trail, when you're camping, you can save weight, you can save space, fresh water, and oh, by the way, it's a lot more comfortable when you can take a hot shower out there in the wilderness. You can find us all at mega-mikes.com. Thanks for tuning in to Motorhead Garage, presented by Steel Rubber Products. We will be back in 7 days. In the meantime, just wanted to remind you, we're streaming everywhere. You find TV and video, and you can send me a note, dave@motorheadgarage.tv, if you want to be our Motorhead of the Week. We'll see you in 7 days. Until then, drive safely. So long.